What is going on, everybody? Red Velvet is back in the studio, and today I have a very special guest, Coach Dan Mikesell. How are we doing today?
Doing awesome today. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. It's the last day of school.
It was.
Yes. Now,
It's a good feeling.
yes, it's always a great feeling. Now, I've always wanted to ask a teacher this. Do teachers get just as excited as the kids do?
I'd say sometimes more. Don't let them kid you. Don't let them kid you. Yes, that's
Good. Good.
Look forward to our summers. I got a busy summer packed with all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
looking forward to it. So it's not like I had the summer off, but
No.
just different, just a different direction of things to do.
I find out that wrestling coaches, and for those who don't know, he is Mooresville's wrestling coach as one of his many hats he wears in the wrestling industry. I find out wrestling coaches don't really have off time.
There is no time. It's a season that doesn't end. I've got a couple of friends that added up, and they're like, "This is my 22nd weekend in a row of going to wrestling tournaments." So yeah.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't end.
It doesn't end at all. It's fun. Wrestling, I've been just now covering wrestling this season. And just what I like about wrestling is anytime, any place, anywhere, records don't matter. When it comes time, one wrong move and buddy, you could be done.
It's a true story. Yeah. It's a very unforgiving sport sometimes.
Yes, I love it. So let's get to know you, the background. A young Coach Mikesell. What did you like to do back when you were a kid?
Oh, back when I was a kid, I've always been kind of an outdoorsy kind of guy. I like to fish, like to, hang out outside, that kind of stuff. Always been involved in sports, played football, wrestled, did a little track and cross country and that kind of stuff too. But yeah, always that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Mooresville.
Yeah. So what got you into like football and wrestling, like especially?
I don't know. I just kind of got bit by the bug early. Actually, what my summer job was, I taught swimming lessons, and I just kind of enjoyed watching the development of kids and so on. So I just kind of, when I was a senior, my wrestling coach asked me if I'd want to coach the elementary team. So I jumped in and started doing that, and just kind of got bit by it and just started doing it. And then in college, I was a director of youth sports at the YMCA and did all kinds of sports there, and started coaching at Chauncey Rose Middle School, started coaching football. And then I just kind of got bit by the bug and just liked it,
Yeah.
So
then how did you get into coaching? Is there something you want to continue on being involved?
Yeah, I always wanted to be a teacher. My mom was a teacher. So, and I had some aunts and uncles that were teachers, and just kind of wanted to go into teaching. And I think I saw coaching as a way to help me. Back in the 90s, when I got hired as a teacher, it was hard to get a teaching job.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of had to have a niche to get hired. I think there was like 12 people that interviewed for my first teaching job. So, but because I coached football and wrestling, it kind of gave you a little bit of an in to get a teaching job.
Mm-hmm.
So I am one of those weird people. I kind of like, I see myself as a teacher first and a coach second, so.
Well, that's very admirable because sometimes it's backwards.
Yeah. I definitely, I'm one of those guys. I like to teach and I enjoy my teaching job. And like I said, coaching wrestling, coaching football kind of helped get my first teaching job.
Mm-hmm. So what, you coached football first?
I coached football first. Yeah.
Okay.
Johnson Rose Royals, and then at Woodrow Wilson. And then I was the head freshman football coach at Terre Haute North. Then I kind of moved up with that group of kids too, which was kind of neat. I coached them as seventh graders, then I coached them as freshmen. Then I moved up to junior varsity and varsity when they were there. So, and then I did that for about 8 years. And then I moved over to Northview and coached football at Northview for about 13 or 14 years.
Okay. Yeah. And then when did the wrestling come along?
So the wrestling just kind of was always along with it too. I just, when I was at the YMCA as the director of youth sports, the executive director came to me and said, "Hey, we need a new sport." And I was like, "Hey, I got one for us." So there's no wrestling in Terre Haute. They don't even have middle school wrestling at that time. That was 1992. And, I was like, let's start a wrestling team. So we started the YMCA wrestling club back in 1992. And then that kind of just trickled in, and eventually that kind of became more of the South kids. And then when I got hired at Terre Haute North, we started the Northside Wrestling Club there. And then when I moved over, started coaching at Northview, we started the Wabash Valley Wrestling Club. So then when I moved to Mooresville, their club was already pretty well established. So I just kind of stepped in and help out with that club. And I'm pretty fortunate there. I have a good little elementary staff, and those guys pretty much run the elementary team for me.
So you were one of the founders of wrestling in Terre Haute, man.
I guess all the way back to 1992.
That is awesome. I mean,
my first state champ was Gabe Cook.
Okay.
He was the head coach at Terre Haute South. Yeah. He was a Greco-Roman state champ, I think his 8th grade year, and he was in that YMCA wrestling club.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And we trained in the basement of the Y. It was kind of gross, but we did it.
Was that, let's see, which Y was that? That wasn't
The
the Y.
YMCA on 6th Street, South 6th Street.
Okay.
It's closed down now.
It's now apartments, and
I don't even know if it's that. I think it's just an abandoned building, I think.
oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh boy. But what? That is crazy. So you started the YMCA Wrestling Club, transitioned to Northside Wrestling.
Correct.
When you first brought that up, did they think that you were like, what, wrestling? What?
Yeah, because they were like, what are we going to do for mats, and what are we going to do for this, and they didn't even know what wrestling was. So yeah, but no, they were all about it, because he was just they were wanting to start new programs and offer new programs. So yeah, and we had a lot of success those early years at the YMCA. We had a lot of kids come out, and and a lot of those kids ended up going on. Barry Wickwer was my first state qualifier at Terre Haute North, and he was one of those YMCA kids. And Dale Griffin got second in the state, and he was one of those YMCA kids. Yeah, so it was. We had a lot of good kids come through that little program.
That is cool. Yeah. You're one of the OGs of wrestling in Terre Haute. That is awesome. So then you get to high school. So they're coming right along with it. What are some of your favorite memories of coaching in the YMCA, in the club wrestling? Time.
I don't know. The club wrestling has so many memories that we've had so many kids do so well. But my last group of seniors at Northview, they were freshmen, or excuse me, they were kindergartners when I started the elementary team there. Yeah. So, and then when they graduated, that's when I stepped aside at Northview. So kind of just watching those kids grow up, and Cale McCoy was one of those guys, and Jacob Hendrick was one of those guys.
Okay.
And they just, just watching them grow and develop and mature, and to find young people that they became. And it was just awesome. Those are some of my greatest memories of those clubs.
That's so cool.
Yes. Just a lot of going to Iowa to wrestle, going to Michigan to wrestle, going to Ohio to wrestle, just traveling all over. Just fun.
Yeah. Well, I've had some of your athletes in here as coaches. Now you're developing. Yeah. You're almost like the Nick Saban here.
Bo Pingleton was one of my he's one of my state place winners, and he's a head coach. I actually have 4 of my former wrestlers are head coaches.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Aaron C got 4th place in the state for me, and he's a head coach. And Gabe Cook and Bo Pingleton and Tony Santabria was one of my wrestlers too.
See, he's got a tree going.
Little tree going.
I like it. But now you're also what's another one of your wrestling hats you wear?
I'm also the vice president of the Coaches Association, which that's a 2-year deal. I'm on my 2nd year of that. And then when that's over, I'll take over as the president for 2 years. So it's a 4-year commitment.
Okay.
And then I'm also the 16U junior director for the Indiana State Wrestling Association, which means I'm in charge of all the 16U junior kids. So 16U are kids that are 15 and 16-year-olds. Are usually freshmen and sophomore high school. And then the junior age division is the kids that are 17 and older and still enrolled in high school.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of in charge of that program for the state, getting things to, like we got our 16U duels is coming up June the 8th in Utah. So, we have a lot of people at the ISWA that like coordinate things, but I just, have a small hat in that, coordinating, putting those teams together, picking the team leaders, that kind of stuff. And then the juniors, they go up to Wisconsin on June the 16th. So
okay.
That's for our national duels team.
Okay. So let's back up to the ISWA.
Okay.
What is that for people who don't know, like me?
Okay.
What is that?
So the ISWA is the Indiana State Wrestling Association. Okay. It was founded, I think, in 1978. So it's been around for a long time. I actually wrestled in it. I think I've done everything in that you can possibly do. I've wrestled in it. I've refereed in it. I've coached in it. Now I'm one of the directors of it. So anyways, but basically we're the governing body of the age group wrestling.
Okay.
So, starts all the way down to age 5 and all the way through the graduating high school seniors.
Mm-hmm.
And we just try to develop and promote wrestling in the state, and put together our national teams. If you want to be on the national team, you got to go through the ISWA.
Okay.
So anyways, and there's all these tournaments out there. Oh, you could be this tournament's a state championship. It's like, well, not really. It's somebody's tournament that they sanctioned, and they call it the state championship. If you're an ISWA state championship, that's the one that's really because my wife's like, this is another state tournament. I'm like, well, no, not really. They just call it that.
Yeah.
But the ISWA, it's a sanctioning body. So there's the UWW sanctions like the Olympics.
Okay.
and then USA Wrestling is part of the UWW, and then ISWA is part of the USA Wrestling.
Okay.
So we follow all of those rules from the UWW down.
Okay.
And the UWW stands for United World Wrestling.
Okay.
So if you want to get into if you want to ref at the Olympics, you got to be a UWW certified referee.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So that's what the ISWA is.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. How did you become involved in that? It's just through coaching?
I did just various contacts back in 2000 when I was still an assistant coach at Terre Haute North. I just met people through the ISWA, and I got asked to be an assistant team leader on one of the national teams. So I just met people through that. And then I took a little bit of a hiatus for a few years. And then the past, I think 11 years, I've gone out to Fargo, started going back as a coach. And now I'm the junior team leader for the national team. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a different hat on my director's hat, but I'm the team leader for the juniors. Then we also have a team leader for the 16U team. His name is Greg Schaefer. He's the head coach at Evansville Mater Dei. And he and I kind of work together and coordinate the teams and build our roster. And we get four spots per weight class, but then you get automatic spots if they place at nationals, or they get automatic spots if they place at the Central Regionals, or if they're a returning All-American, they get these automatic spots. So then we got to shuffle around and say, okay, we got extra spots here and so on. And that team's, our junior class is really shaping up to be a pretty good class. I mean, it's really deep. There's a lot of good kids that didn't make the team that are like, how did I not make the team? It's like, well, because it's just really tough. It's just really tough.
It sounds like picking the team is very tough.
Yeah. Well, we have a state championship, and we give 3 bids to the top 3 kids.
Okay.
They automatically qualify. And then that 4th spot we save for either the 4th place finisher in some weight classes, or let's say like we had a high school state champ and he was injured and couldn't participate in the state tournament. Well, we don't want that guy not on our team, because he's going to go out there and have a real good chance to All-American. So we kind of save that 4th spot. We give it some wiggle room to kind of to play with, to make sure we get our best kids on the team.
Okay. And the weight classes still go from 285 is the max.
Yeah. So the 16U weight classes and the junior weight classes are the exact same, with the exception 16U has an 88 and 100-pound weight class, and juniors have a 100-pound weight class.
Okay.
Which those weight classes are pretty hard to fill.
Yeah.
But and sometimes those 100-pound weight class juniors are actually 16U kids that snuck their way onto the team somehow, some way. So,
and that you're choosing out of everybody in Indiana.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the way from as farthest north you get to the farthest south you get, everywhere in between.
That's like 10,000.
It's a lot. Yeah. That's our state tournament. We had really good numbers at the Freestyle state. It was a pretty long day of wrestling for everybody.
Yeah.
Anyways, and we have 2 teams. We have a Freestyle team, and then we have a Greco-Roman team.
Okay. Now I kind of understand what Folkstyle is. That's the high school style, right?
Yep.
Freestyle, what's the difference there?
So Freestyle is the Olympic style. That's what, if you watch the Olympics, that's what Freestyle is.
Okay.
Like for example, instead of having 3 periods, you have 2 periods.
Okay.
16U is 2 2-minute periods. Juniors are 2 3-minute periods, and then you get a little break in between the periods. So you get about a 30-second break to go talk to your coach and towel off and get some advice and kind of regroup sometimes if you need to. And anyways, maybe get a little bit of strategy if that's needed at the time. Anyways, and then folk style is much more kind of like controlling people, holding them down and that kind of stuff. Freestyle, I take you down, you're going to lay flat and not let me try to turn you. Okay. And if a reasonable amount of time goes by, 10 or 15 seconds, and I don't turn you, the referee brings you back up to your feet and you wrestle from your feet. So it's a lot more neutral action, which means both wrestlers are on their feet.
Okay. And then Greco-Roman.
So Greco-Roman is actually the original style of wrestling. Very similar to freestyle as far as the periods and a lot of the scoring, but you can't do any maneuvers or any technique that grabs people's legs.
Okay. Everything
is upper body. A lot of throws, a lot of people getting tossed on their heads. To me, Greco has been kind of one of my favorite styles. And when my son wrestled, the Greco was his best style. He was really good at Greco-Roman.
Okay. I like that.
So yeah, it's but like if I was an offensive line coach still, I would try to tell all my offensive linemen, you got to wrestle Greco-Roman. So
yeah,
because it's all about pushing and pulling and understanding hand position and that kind of stuff.
See, that's a cheat code that not a lot of people know about.
Yeah,
I always told kids when I was a coach, I said, you need to wrestle. If you're not doing anything else, no one wrestle.
Yeah,
and if you are doing something else, probably skip that and go wrestle.
Yeah, it's wrestling for sure is like a great training for football players, for sure.
Yes.
Even skill position people have it transitions. Benny Freeman, who is Coach Freeman's son, he's an awesome wrestler. He's going to college to wrestle, and Coach Freeman will tell you he likes to recruit guys that are wrestlers.
Yeah. That's what, whenever when the youth league, like, do you wrestle? Yes. All right. We'll add that to the draft sheet.
Sure.
This kid's a wrestler. It's always good. The Mooresville wrestling season, how was that? How'd that go this year?
We actually had a really successful season. Our boys we had a couple of our tournaments canceled, so we didn't have as many dual meets as we normally do, but we ended up with an 11-3 dual meet record.
Okay.
We had a semi-state qualifier. We had some kids that did really well in the off season. And then on the other side of that, I'm also the head coach of the girls, and our girls ended up being 17-3.
Okay.
2 of our losses were to Crown Point, who won the duals championship. We invited that they came to we had a big duals tournament, and they came to that. So we lost to them there, and then we lost to them at the state championship too.
Okay.
And then we also lost to Franklin Central, who had a really good team as well. So, but we ended up with 17-3, and then we had 4 state qualifiers. 2 girls got 3rd, and we finished 10th overall in the individual state as well. So we had my girls team is really killing it right now.
Yeah.
We just took 6 girls down to Central Regionals, and we had a runner-up and a 4th place finish down at Central Regionals, which Central Regionals it was freestyle, and it's Michigan, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, all those central states, and it's basically a tune-up to get ready for Fargo with the people in your area. It's also a qualifier for Fargo. If you get top 6 at Central Regionals, you automatically qualify for Fargo, which is the national tournament, and then you don't count against your state's numbers. So that 4 people I was talking about, if you qualify through Central Regionals, then you open up a spot essentially for somebody else. And we had two of our girls qualified through that, and we had another girl that was in the blood round, was winning, and got thrown on her head and got a little bit woozy, and so she couldn't finish the match. So it was kind of disappointing, but she wrestled really, really well.
Yeah.
And she was already qualified for Fargo.
So what can you explain more about Fargo?
Sure. So Fargo is the national tournament. It's the biggest high school age tournament in the world. I don't know the exact number, but like, several thousand kids in 16U and in juniors, and the girls has exploded. And I leave July 6th for that, and then I don't get home till like July 18th. I'm out of Fargo for quite a while.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just the biggest high school tournament in the world. And it's at the Fargo Dorm at North Dakota State University. So there's like 28 mats down, and it's pretty fun. It's a good time.
It's a sight to see, I guess.
It is.
Do you get to stay in the dorms?
Well, I have to stay in the dorms. I wouldn't say I get to stay in the dorms. I would say I have to stay in the dorms. Yeah. They're not air conditioned. Oh, it's a long week, and Fargo in July sometimes is brutally hot. I've been out there some summers. I've been out there where like, hey, it's pretty cool, but I've been out there some summers where it's 90 degrees, and it's a long evening trying to get some sleep sometimes.
I can imagine.
So, and it's a long day. I mean, we during the days of competition, we get to the Fargo Dome about 8 in. We get a little bit of a break for lunch, and then we're there till 8 or 9 at night sometimes.
So is it all a tournament, or is there drills, or
it's all a tournament?
All a tournament.
Okay. The boys, the last 2 years, we've taken the boys out 2 days early and had like a little mini camp per se. We used to have a camp in Indiana for like almost a week, like 3 or 4 days. But there's so many academies now that the academies have really they've really made Indiana wrestling phenomenal. Yeah. Because what's happening is kids are training year round, and they're training with some really good quality coaching. Yeah. Those academy coaches, they're fan. They are really good coaching, and the kids train with them year round. So what we found is the camp was like, kids are like, hey, I really would like to just keep training at my academy because, this is my coach and this, whatever. So we don't have to get the kids in and say, hey, here's how you stop a gut wrench. The kids know how to do this. Yeah. So our juniors finished 5th 2 years ago, and our 16U finished top 5 last year. So we're hoping that both of our teams can finish in the top 5 this year. So, and it's really paying off. So, yeah. One of the other things I do with the Coaches Association is I'm in charge of the Indiana-Illinois duals team, which is our best seniors. Okay. And we have a dual meet with Illinois. Ooh. And there's 3 teams. We have Indiana Gold, Indiana Blue, and then a girls team. And Illinois has Illinois Reagan, Illinois Lincoln, and a girls team. And this was the first time in the history of that series. It goes back to 1990. think 1993, I think, or 1994. Anyways, the first time in the series we swept them.
Nice.
We won all three. The blue team won by 1 point, and the girls won by 1 point.
Nice.
And our gold team actually, we beat them pretty handily, actually.
Good.
And a lot of that, like I said, has to do with these kids getting this good supplemental coaching in the off season. And a lot of those kids go to those academies. They also train with their academy coaches on Sundays, and they get private lessons on Sunday. And it's just, you've seen, you know, the elite kids have gotten even better. Yeah, is what's happening.
That's what these, like the clubs. I mean, how long have the clubs been operating? Like I feel like it's just kind of there's clubs.
I mean, club wrestling in Indiana has been going on since the late 70s, early 80s. But usually it was a guy like me running a high school club, not getting paid.
Yeah.
Now you have these academy coaches who are getting paid. You know, they're professional coaches. That's all they do. You know, I have several of my friends, they're academy coaches. That's their whole living. Wow. And they do, you know, and they do a phenomenal job of getting kids ready and prepared. And a lot of our coaching staff is those academy coaches. We have several high school coaches that are on there too. But a lot of those, because they have so many kids from those academies, we have to get them on the staff because the kids are just comfortable with them.
Yeah,
being in their corner and being there with them. And you know, kid has a tough loss, he needs someone to bounce back. It's just nice to have a familiar face there.
Absolutely.
To get them bounced back. So.
Absolutely. Well, looking ahead, you have a dinner coming up.
I do. So June the 4th, the American Legion in Brazil here has been very generous to me, giving donations of helping my girls get on the national team. So June the 4th, I'm cooking dinner down at the American Legion. It's their treasure hunt night, so there's all kinds of gamings going on, and they have they have their new slot machine games in there. There'll be all kinds of that kind of stuff going on, and then they'll be nice enough. A little bit of the profit that night's going to go to help offset the cost for my girls to go to national. So that's June the 4th, 5:30 is when we start eating.
Okay, so it's open to the public.
Yeah, open to the public that night. Yep.
All right.
Yeah. So anybody in Brazil wants to get down there, that'd be great.
Be sure to check it out.
Yeah, and I do make some killer barbecue. I will.
Oh, you're the cook. You're the head man.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Nice. Fun fact about Coach Mikesell is I'm a certified Kansas City barbecue judge.
What?
Yeah. I went to a class a long time ago. Anyways,
that's awesome.
Yeah. I do a lot of fun, interesting hobbies.
That is awesome. Another fun fact, for those who don't know, he was the defensive coordinator when I played football in high school.
I was. So we had some really good defenses back in the days.
There was a lot of good defenses. Yeah. That was a fun time. I sat the bench, but it was a fun time being on the team.
I don't remember that. I thought you played.
I did.
You did. You got in.
I got in.
He's being modest.
A little bit. But there was a quote you said before, and it stuck with me all these years.
Okay.
It was well, I don't want to quote it verbatim, but it was a 4-hour playoff game your senior year. You said, leave it all on the field, because you don't want to go back to a high school reunion and talk about, well, what if I had a little more in the tank? And that stuck with me for 20 years now, that give it your all, don't look back. And, you know, that's what's helped me with this business and all the other businesses my wife and I have started. So thank you for that quote back in the day.
That.
Yeah. It was it stuck with me, and I was like, oh, I'm going to use that. And it just kept going.
Every once in a while, things would come to me. I had some good ones.
Always. So, Coach, closing remarks. Oh, I do have one question. I'm so sorry. Advice for someone getting into coaching.
Oh man, someone getting into wrestling coaching.
Yeah.
Be patient, because it is very time consuming, and it's there are a lot of things more than just knowing wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
There's weight management. There's understanding how to enter your rosters. There's deadlines. There's all the USA bracketing things that you have to learn to do.
Yes.
So just be patient, try to learn as much, and understand that there's more to it. And quoting one of my mentors, Howard Jones, who's a longtime coach at Jennings County. He never was my coach, but he was kind of one of those guys that always helped young coaches. And he would say that kids won't care what you know until they know that you care.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be some of my advice. If you're going into coaching, make sure you're in for the right reasons. You know, it's not about you and it's not about your ego. It's about developing people and developing student athletes. And like I said, I'm really one of those people that I'm a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really big into education-based athletics.
Yeah.
You know, and one of my legacies will be, I've never had a transfer kid. I've never had some kid that actively went out and said, hey, you should come to Mooresville. We got this going for you. But I always like our girls program is having huge success. It's every one of those girls lives in Mooresville. And I think that that's important. And I think sometimes we lose our vision on education-based athletic, and we get caught up in the idea of winning championships. And don't get me wrong, I like to win. I mean, my wife and I downhill ski, and if I see someone down there, I'm like, ooh, I'm beating them this time. So, I mean, I like to win, but I think I want to win the right way. And I think I want to, you know, instill those values in my kids that last when they're 30, not necessarily just when they're 18.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
I like that. I do have another question just popped in my head. Your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, who would that be?
Oh, wow. Well, Bruce Baumgartner would be up there. Jordan Burroughs obviously would be up there. Kyle Dake would be up there. And then probably the GOAT, because right now he's killing it as a coach too, is Kale Sanderson.
Okay.
I think those guys, gosh, but you got John Smith. I mean, I don't know. I don't know even know where to stop. I don't know if we have a big enough mountain. I mean, but
I didn't know.
But those would be some.
I know they're going to say Kurt Angle. That's about the only one I know.
Yeah, well,
Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar. That's about it. But, well, Coach, closing remarks.
No, I just appreciate you having me on. I appreciate your podcast here, you know, promoting sports in our small little community. Because even though I do coach and teach in Mooresville, I still live in Brazil. My wife and I make the commute every day over there. And just, you know, Brazil and Northview has been very, very good to me for my coaching career and just in my personal life as well. So appreciate you promoting all the youth sports here. And I follow you on, and I see a lot of my former players and wrestlers, and it just, you know, warms my heart knowing you guys are giving back. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you so much. At this time, I got to thank the people that make this possible. If I can find my mouse, might help if I turn it on. Our sponsors, Wabash Valley Plumbing, RJ's Formal Wear, Everhote Co. Got to keep my wife's business going.
That's true.
And also thank you to our subscribers on Facebook. For 99 cents per month, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, get early access to podcasts like these and other cool things. So we're out of here, Coach. Thank you so much.
No problem.
We're out. Keep pushing. Love you.